Welcome to Tobago's funeral home, where we celebrate life's precious moments. From the moment you enter our doors, you're met with kindness and care. Our reception area is designed to be more than just a waiting room. It is a place of calm, thoughtfully created to ease the weight of grief. In our private conference room, conversations are guided by empathy. Here, our client experience coordinators sit beside you, not just across the table to help plan a service that truly reflects your loved one's story. Whether it's a traditional farewell or a personalized celebration of life, we take time to understand your wishes and offer thoughtful guidance. At the heart of our organization is a dedicated manager who ensures that everything runs smoothly, from the smallest detail to the final farewell. We understand that choosing a casket or a coffin is a deeply personal decision. In our selection room, we provide a calm, respectful environment where families can take their time and explore options that reflect their loved one's life, beliefs, and preference. Our spacious chapel is where memories are honored and lives are celebrated. Designed with serenity and warmth, it provides a welcoming space for families and friends to come together in reflection and remembrance. For families choosing cremation, we offer on-site professional cremation services in a setting that upholds dignity, peace, and confidentiality. Our crematorium offers a seamless and respectful alternative to traditional burial, giving families flexibility while maintaining the highest standard of care.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, the 18th of November, 2025. I am your host, Akinlabihola, and it's good to be here with you this morning as we make our way through the week. I hope that you are up and you're ready to go, yes, and you're going to tackle today's efforts, today's assignments with all your energy and fervor and excitedness. Yes. We hope that you will be tackling today with all of your goodness and putting that positive energy out there. We have a very interesting lineup for you all this morning as we continue our discussions and celebrations of International Men's Day. Yes, it's all about men this week, and we have some really important conversations about men's health and well-being that we're going to be having today. But before we get into any of those conversations, we head over to our news in 90 seconds.
And here's what's making your news in 90 seconds for Tuesday, November 18, 2025. Preparations for the upcoming Tobago House of Assembly election was well underway last evening as the Tobago People's Party continued its screening process at the Shore Park Cultural Complex. Yesterday saw a prospective candidate for Scarborough Mongrace, including incumbent Assemblyman Trevor James, who arrived with motorcade and music truck support. Also vying for the district was retired Police Corporal Andre Sebro, amongst others. For the Mount St. George Goodwood District, incumbent Assemblyman Megan Morrison arrived without fanfare to face the screening committee. Another prospective, Minister Brian Patrick, said his aim was to win souls for Christ and represent the people. Meanwhile, the People's National Movement continued its nightly town hall meetings at the Wim Community Centre, where the party revealed incumbent Assemblyman and Minority Leader Kelvon Morris as the candidate for the Dial Spring Wim district. In addressing supporters gathered at the centre, Morris promised better days ahead under the stewardship of the People's National Movement. The party continues its meetings tonight at the Castara Community Centre. Up next, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley has issued a stark warning to citizens of Trinidad and Tobago on the possible repercussions to plague the country if Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar was to allow the United States to use Trinidad and Tobago as a launching pad to attack its neighbors. Speaking during a press briefing streamed via his social media page yesterday, Dr. Rowley said the country was, quote, against a current which we cannot swim, end quote. He said Trinidad and Tobago's assets at sea, including 2 gas rigs, which fed the country's entire electricity grid, and which was located just 60 miles outside of Venezuela, could be attacked, plunging the country into darkness. He said Trinidad and Tobago will be vulnerable if the 2 major countries were to go to war. The former PM pleaded with Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar to desist from such decisions. And finally, in some news of crime on the island, in a brazen and daring daylight attack, 3 masked bandits armed with firearms stormed a casino located in Crum Point yesterday. Reports indicate that around 10 a.m., assailants who arrived via boat on the island's western coast demanded cash from the casino's cashier and subsequently fled the scene in a waiting vessel. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service responded, and 1 suspect, along with the vessel allegedly used in the crime, was seized. This is a developing story, and more details will be provided along with other stories in our major newscast at 6:30 p.m. Be viewing Tobago Updates Television. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you very much, Keegan, for our news in 90 seconds. And we see there where the crime situation in Tobago was having a bit of a spike in activities, but thankfully the police are having success in capturing those suspects very early on after the crime has been committed. And we support the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in their continued efforts to combat crime on the island. We also see the situation where the geopolitical tension in the region has ramped up once again. We had a couple of weeks of quiet, but it seems to have ramped up once again, and we have the U.S. military personnel in the country engaging in joint exercises alongside the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. And so that whole entire geopolitical situation is back on the front burner, Keegan.
Yeah, it's a very serious thing that we have to pay attention to, because the repercussions can be very damaging to our economy. And I think it's something that we really have to pay attention to as citizens. But Akinlabi, have you seen how the crime rate has significantly decreased on the island in the past weeks?
Yeah.
I see the police, their detection rates have significantly improved. They're doing something quite well.
Yes. So the TTPS, I mean, we're getting a bit more incidences of crime, but the TTPS has been very, very strong and heavy-handed in terms of how they detect those crimes, how they solve them. They've been solving them very quickly, and that is something very commendable for the TTPS. And hopefully it's some sort of deterrent for those who are thinking about engaging in criminal activity in the future. Indeed.
And we recognize that the 2 political parties on the island have ramped up their processes in the wake of the upcoming elections.
Yes.
What date do you think the election will be called? I heard the Chief Secretary is praying about it currently.
I think the elections will be probably late January. If he's praying about it, he probably has gotten his answer already. I think it's late January, latest early February, perhaps within the first week of February.
I feel I'm looking at like about the 12th of February. I feel the 12th
Well, I
of
think the
February
12th of February is actually the very end of constitutionally, the end of the period that he could call the elections. So
No, I think he
carried
has
it down
quite
to the
up
wire.
into March, you know.
I think it's actually 2 to 3 months afterwards. He can't go 3 months beyond. And if he dissolved the House in, I think it was the 12th of November, 12th of December would be 1 month, 12th of January would be 2 months, and 12th of February would be 3 months. So he can't go beyond.
It's looking like the 12th of February. As
Yeah.
the recent Chief Secretary in the House of the Tobago Men's Debate, I'm sure you have that connection with the sitting chief to have some dialogue about which day can be chosen.
Maybe I should send a text message to find out the date.
Well, I mean, I look forward. It promises to be a very exciting period. You know, elections usually bring out the best and worst in some people.
Yes.
But in the end, we have to remember that after the elections are won, we all have to live here, you know?
Yes. Thank you very much, Keegan, for that news in 90 seconds. We hope that you have a good and productive day moving forward.
Thank you, Akinlabi, and wishing Tobago a wonderful day. And thank you for tuning in to Tobago Update.
All right, viewers, it's now that time of the morning, that time where we celebrate with those who are celebrating with us. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. Yes, and we want to start our birthday shout-outs today by saying happy birthday to Mr. Kishon Smith, also known as Bass. Happy birthday to you, sir. Cause we trust blessings, and we pray that you stay safe today. We pray that you celebrate in a safe manner and you enjoy your day to the fullest, and that you're showered with love by those who are closest to you. And in this upcoming year, you achieve all that you set your heart to. And finally, we say happy birthday to Mr. Lex Bovell. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Bovell. Yes, today is your day to celebrate. Today is your day to unwind. And it's also a time to reflect on what you have achieved thus far in your life and the blessings of God upon your life. And we hope that in this coming year, you have a stronger connection to God, and everything that you set your heart to, you attack it with all fervor and energy, and all successes to you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you're celebrating, we want to celebrate it with you. You can share it with us here at Tobago Updates. Whether it is an anniversary, a birthday, the birth of a child, a graduation, you have a new job, whatever it is you're celebrating, we want to celebrate with you. So you can send your information to us here at Tobago Updates. So this morning, we're going to be having conversations with Dr. Kyle Haraksing, who's going to be talking about the importance of men's health and well-being. We're also going to be talking with Mr. Francis John, who's an artist and songwriter and entertainer, and he's going to be talking about men in art. And finally, we're going to have conversations with Mr. Diamond Andrews, who's a dietitian, and he's going to be talking about healthy eating for men. Yes, that's what we have in the lineup for you this morning, so stick with us. Up next, we said Dr. Kyle Haraksing. So whether you're viewing on our Facebook Live or YouTube page, 102 on AMPLIA, 121 or 130 on Flow, and 33 on Digicel, we thank you for viewing in with us. And do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. Dr. Kyle Haraksing is up next after these messages.
is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And this week we are celebrating International Men's Day, and as such, all our hosts, all our guests are all men. We're discussing all men's issues. And I have joining me in studio my co-host this morning, Mr. Alex Job Thomas. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, good morning.
Yes, so we have Mr. Job Thomas in studio today, and he will be ably assisting me in conducting these interviews this morning. In studio, we have with us this morning Dr. Kyle Haraxing, who is a medical doctor, and he's here to speak to us about the importance of men's health and well-being. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Dr. Haraxing, let's get into it. Why is men's well-being important?
So, men's well-being is a very important topic. It's important to recognize the positive contributions that men have done to society, and also recognize that in some ways we are falling short. From a medical point of view, men are statistically, on average, expected to live 4 to 5 years shorter than our female counterparts. So there's room for improvement.
And tell us, you said 4 to 5 years less than our female counterparts. Give us some reasons or some insights into why that is the current status quo.
So globally, men are less likely to visit a doctor, and when they do visit, they usually present with more advanced symptoms or disease than females. So one of the tools we recommend is early screening.
Mm-hmm. And how can we go about getting men to seek medical attention more regularly so that these kinds of scenarios don't show up?
So part of that is awareness. So programs such as this that encourage men to seek medical attention would be important, and recognizing the value of screening. So unlike the standard medical process where a patient comes in with a problem that needs a diagnosis and treatment, screening kind of flips that on its head. So we look for problems based on decade. And then by looking for these problems, we can hopefully pick up on it earlier rather than later.
And what are some of the more prevalent diseases and illnesses you see men presenting with in your experience?
So men often come in with elevated blood sugar, elevated blood pressure, and high cholesterol. And it's important to recognize that these don't always have symptoms. So, we'll often, let's say, see a patient and recognize that their blood pressure is high. And then we realize, okay, maybe there's something going on long-term and chronic as opposed to an acute cause. Now, they don't necessarily have symptoms. So a patient may not come to us and say, my blood pressure is high today.
Yeah.
They might come for some other reason and we happen to pick up on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I know one major problem many societies having is pride. They think that well, they learn in their lifetime growing up, they have to tough it out, right? And coupled with that, with the sometimes some symptoms don't show. How do you get them to, from your perspective, how do you get them to see the value with that pride factor involved?
Yeah, so it's important to recognize that pride is a factor, and phrases like "take it like a man" and "toe the line" are influential. But education, let patients be aware that these things are important and that it's better to have a conversation and talk about changing our diet and exercising more rather than waiting for something bad to happen to then need to start the medication. So, education really.
And in the Tobago space, apart from the testing beforehand you mentioned, are there any other initiatives to really seek men's health, take care of men's health? For example, the Blue Room. What sort of initiatives are taking place at the Blue Room that men could go and get assistance up there?
Yeah, so the Blue Room is really focused on screening and men's health. So they would check, let's say, blood pressure, do certain blood tests to really pick up on things before they get out of hand. So yeah, that's one of the positive initiatives that men could take, in addition to some of the lifestyle advice we like to give. So quit smoking, decrease alcohol, decrease salt intake, and eat more vegetables.
Even when men do get diagnosed with, let's say, it could be a non-communicable disease or perhaps a cancer, we know prostate cancer is prevalent. How difficult is it, in your experience, to get men to follow medical advice that is in their best interest?
Yeah, so it can be quite challenging, but it is important to always highlight that when something is detected early, the treatments are less invasive and outcomes are more favorable because you've picked up a problem before it's gotten more advanced.
That you may not need invasive surgeries, you may need a minuscule surgery, minor surgery, or probably just medication or lifestyle change, that kind of thing. And as I mentioned, lifestyle change, men who like to smoke, they like to drink a lot, and it's causing them to become ill. In terms of changing those lifestyles, the men's openness to changing lifestyles, is that also a factor in leading to men dying 4 to 5 years beforehand?
It certainly is a factor, because at the end of the day, we can counsel patients and tell them what to do.
Right.
But men have to recognize that we're saying this in their interest because we want to, we've seen it many times where an early intervention could prevent something 5, 10, 20 years down the line. So yeah, recognizing the vulnerability, which is hard for us to do as men, but accepting that and saying, okay, how can we make changes to improve outcomes?
All right, so in the Tobago, I know my co-host alluded to the Tobago context. One of the problems that we have is a confidentiality problem. When men go to the Blue Room, how are they assured that the information wouldn't get out there? Because they lead back to the pride problem, but confidentiality because they don't want persons doing their business, which is a important point, and they have a right to be private. The confidentiality in terms of the men on the island and accessing the different initiatives?
So confidentiality is an important part of the healthcare process, and being confidential is important because we know it's difficult for patients to come in and ask for help many times. So yeah, it's certainly something that we take seriously, being confidential and assuring patients that the information isn't going to get out there as best as we possibly can.
So we're talking about men's health right now, and we are still on the angle of physical health. But in terms of the men's mental health as well, how important is it to men to maintain a good mental health?
It's very important. So maintaining a good mental health could be as simple as having conversations with supportive family members and friends, and in other cases, maybe seeking professional help. Men often are the breadwinners and suffer burnout. So it's important to recognize when we do need to take breaks and when we do need to have those conversations and say that, maybe not everything's all right now. And then take it from there and see what help could be available.
I know that persons seeking mental help is a very difficult thing for most persons to do. But have you experienced that within men, it's even more difficult than to get them to come to that point of seeking help than it is with women in terms of their mental health?
Yes, so from a cultural point of view, not just for Tobago specifically, but men globally, it is recognized that men often don't want to be in what's called the sick role, having to come forward and ask for help. But it is important to recognize when we do need help, and asking for it is one of the first steps into getting it.
And what are some of the things that men can do to really ease that burden? Let's say they don't want to go to a therapist or a counselor or anything like that. What can men do within themselves, for themselves, to really ease that mental stress that they may be feeling?
So not everyone would require a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist. One of the first steps is having an open, honest conversation with their peers, with their colleagues, their co-workers, their family, their friends, wherever it's appropriate. But it is also important to recognize that not everyone has a friend they could talk to. Not everyone has a family member that's supportive. So sometimes we do need to recognize when we need to go to the professionals.
In those certain circumstances where people don't have anybody that they could talk to, can they talk to themselves? Is that something that you would advise persons to do? Or should they actually go and seek out someone else, a professional, a counselor, a therapist, some kind of thing, some sort of professional, rather than talking to themselves?
So that would be more on a case-by-case basis. But yes, certainly talking to themselves and meditation, deep breathing, all these techniques would help. But it's important to recognize that, just like how a construction worker might have different tools in their tool belt, talking to yourself is one tool, but then also there's family and friends, and then of course professionals. So it'll be more on a case-by-case basis.
Okay, and in your experience, when you all recommend to men to really seek out that sort of mental health, because somebody might come in for a medical issue, but you realize that they also have mental health issues. You may refer them. What are the responses like from those men that you may refer to the psych ward or the psych unit for assistance?
So I don't have any statistics offhand to comment on that. But I mean, we do try our best to refer appropriately, and we hope that there is adequate follow-up. It's important to recognize that when we refer someone, we would give them their letters, their paperwork, and we recommend that they go. But I mean, they still have to take the initiative to then follow through with it. So it's important to recognize that it is a problem and follow through to get the help and support that's needed.
One of the problems I think men have with seeking mental help is that they very often don't come to the realization that they actually need the help. They just think that the circumstances in which they're operating is normal, or it's something that they just have to bear with. So what are some of the things that men should be looking out for to come to that realization that everything is not all right, I need some help, I need to take care of my mental health?
So sometimes men might come in and be a bit more angry than normal, or may just feel these strange body aches and pains that they can't explain. And they would come to us for some medical advice, and then once we've ruled out every organic cause, recognize that it's likely something mental in nature. From there, we'll have a further discussion and look into, okay, well, what might be the stress event? Maybe it's something at work, maybe it's something going on with the family. So yeah, it's important to recognize that it is an important topic. You had mentioned an interesting word there. You said the word normal. Normal for us as people is our average. So if you've grown up in a house, in a community where people are always stressed, to you that is normal.
Right.
And I think it's important to recognize that awareness days like International Men's Day is a way to highlight that there are some stresses that men face, and there are positive role models in society. So we can hopefully change what normal means.
I know that we've been focusing on men and how men can help themselves, but also the women in these men's lives are very influential as well. What are some of the things you would advise women also to look out for? How can women also assist in terms of being an ally in helping or improving men's health?
So open, honest conversations. It's very tempting when someone asks the question, how are you going? To just say, everything's fine, or I'm good. But it is important to sometimes say when things aren't good. So yeah, when women could talk, whether it be with their husbands, their partners, and have those conversations, they can offer support before things get out of hand.
Okay, all right, thank you very much, Dr. Harak Singh. Viewers, we have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we continue our conversations. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, buljoil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and we continue our conversation with Dr. Kyle Haraxing, who is a medical doctor, general practitioner, and is here to tell us about men's health and well-being. So let's continue the conversation. So you were talking about screening. Just try to break it down for us in terms of what the screening looks like and what you're looking for.
Sure. So with screening, it's decade specific. So for example, when patients in their 20s to 30s, we would look more at their blood sugar, their blood pressure, their weight, their fitness, and do what's called testicular checks. From the 40s go up, we look more at cholesterol, we look at prostate, and we also look at colon screening. And then from the 50s, it's everything as before, but we include looking for diabetes, kidney health, eye health, and heart health.
Okay, and in your experiences, have you seen any successes or heard of any successes with these screenings?
Yeah, so I actually have a personal friend of mine who is a medical doctor, and he was just scrolling through Instagram, and the feed kind of suggested him a video that highlighted testicular cancer and talked about the importance of, self-examination. And it's important to recognize that the highest incidence of testicular cancer is from the age 20 to 30. So he self-examined and he felt a lump, and he then got an ultrasound that showed a shadow. And when he went and did the surgery, it found an early testicular cancer. So simply by screening and checking himself, he was able to recognize something before the problems really arose.
Okay.
Well, I just want to put, I understand the experience that your colleague had, right? But I will say he's an outlier. What about the regular man on the street? Do you think that they will go for screening such as that, 20 to 30s?
No, so it's certainly not common, but it is important to recognize that if we could pick it up early, to the next patient who ends up with advanced cancer, if they could find out that, look, by checking it earlier, this thing could have been prevented, controlled earlier, or even if surgery was needed, an easier surgery with a higher chance of recovery, they would want that option. So it's important to have talks like this so that patients can go for screening and doctors can mention screening so that it can be done.
So in your experience, what would you say is the importance of public education and change in persons' mindsets towards seeking out early medical attention, screening, just having a general better attitude towards maintaining their health?
Yeah, so awareness and education is important because we only have one body. We have to take care of it. And if we can pick up problems early, then we can have better outcomes. The same way how we'll check our car and realize we need to get more gas before the gas runs out.
Yes.
It's important to check these things, check blood sugar, check blood pressure. And once we could pick up problems early, we can intervene and have better outcomes, rather than waiting for a problem to then come and try and figure out what the problem is, to then start treatment.
So we're talking about all the screenings and the testings and public education and all of that. What do the numbers look like from your experience? You work at the Roxborough Hospital. But what are the numbers really looking like in terms of men really coming forward to get these screenings and these tests done on a regular basis?
So I don't have any numbers offhand to talk about screening, but we do have the number of the outcome. The outcome being men live 4 to 5 years shorter than women on average.
Right.
And a big part of that is the delayed presentation. So I can't give us very specific, but if you were to add up everything, that's the final result.
But in your anecdotal experience, your personal experience as a doctor, how regularly do you see men coming in to do these screenings, to do these testings, that kind of thing?
Not as often as I would like. Not as often as I like. There are some patients who come for their annual medicals and they would come for the screening. But the vast majority of patients come because of a problem rather than coming to check to prevent a problem.
So these things cost money sometimes. And that might be a deterrent, yes. That might be a deterrent in terms of men going and seeking medical help. I remember have this anecdotal story about this man. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and the cost of him doing the medical treatment for it was about $60,000. And the man literally chose to die instead of incurring the cost because the cost would have been passed on to his family. So he literally chose to die instead of letting his family go through that, finding $60,000 to pay for him, and then they got to pay back the loan, and they're not even sure if he will survive and all of that. And so the real question I'm trying to ask you is, are all of these screenings available to the public free of charge in the public healthcare system, or are some of them have to be done privately?
So they're both available publicly and privately, but it's important to recognize that the screening should be done because we can pick up things earlier. But no, to answer your question, yes, it can be done both publicly and privately.
All right. You have anything else you'd like to share with the public concerning men's well-being, men's mental health, men's physical health that you'd like to share with the public?
Yeah, so I think days like tomorrow are important where we could recognize this and carry it throughout the year. So even though there's one specific day of recognition, being able to talk about it, being able to encourage screening, this will help hopefully close that 4 to 5 year gap that we currently have.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Kyle Harak-Singh, a medical doctor, and he was here speaking with us about the importance of men's health and well-being. Viewers, we have to go for a short break. When we come back, on the other side of the break, up next we're going to have Francis John, who's an artist, a songwriter, and entertainer, and he's going to be speaking with us about men in art. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Who said the elderly can't have fun too? We're talking good food, proper music, lots of games, and a day at the beach they will never forget. From the time we left the compound at Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, the vibe was already established. Wheels up and seatbelts on. Watch now, when we touched down in Pigeon Point, everybody was ready for excitement. But before anything could take place, we had to secure our bellies. You ever play bingo by the beachside? Well, that was the first activity on the roster, and boy did these seniors have fun. However, others wanted something more physical, so we brought out the ring toss, and not even arthritis could have stopped them. Well, I was blown away at how straight these people were. Are you sure this is a home for the elderly? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, but nothing beats the song of Good Steel Pan by the shores while we take a dip in Tobago's finest water. Wait, more food again? This is my type of event. The energy was amazing and nothing short of a blessing. Pick up Heavenly Care Home for the Elderly, because joy doesn't retire, laughter doesn't age, and memories like these last forever.
To a stranger.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we're having studio with us artist, songwriter, and entertainer, Mr. Francis John. And he's here to speak to us about men in art. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, good morning.
So before we get into any conversations, just tell us who Francis John is, how long he's been in the arts, and what his resume really looks like in the arts.
Okay, so as you heard, my name is Francis John, and I am a portrait, specialize in portraits. I work in every area of art, but I am specialized especially in portraits for over 50 years, 50. I'd been in this business until, I had a break where I went to school, university, and after finishing university, I worked as a pastor for some years, and then retiring, I am back deeply into my area of art. And so that's it. I am situated at Pigeon Point. Right now I have a booth at Pigeon Point there where people can find me, you know.
And you said that you apart from visual art, you also do other things in the creative industry. What are those things?
Well, I write, compose, gospel songs. I used to sing calypso before, yes. But accepting Christ, I'm now focused on the gospel area. So I'm writing, composing, and singing. I play a little guitar thing. Yeah.
Okay. So we're here to talk about men, and I'm looking at some of your videos here. We're talking about men in art. In your experience, how active are men in art?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of men, well, Trinidad, if you talk about Trinidad and other parts. But in Tobago, I believe that more men should get into the thing. I mean, if you see you have the skill, you have the gift, you know, don't sit on it. You know, don't leave it there to rusty. Do something with it, because God didn't give you that to sit down or to waste, right, for style. But he gave you it for a purpose.
Right.
And so I have discovered that gift in me, and I developed it. I realized that it was given to me for a purpose, and so I developed it over the years, and I'm benefiting a lot from it right now. I have no regrets. So I believe that those of us men who have the gift, who see the gift in us, no matter how small it might look, you may not be like me yet, but you could reach there, you could even pass me. But, you know, go for it if you have it.
So there's this thing where men feel this burden to be providers in their household, and they may see pursuing art as not viable in terms of making a living or money. They may not see it as, they may see it as a distraction, an unnecessary distraction towards them being that provider that they envision themselves to be. Can you speak to that aspect of it, art being able to be a career or something where you can utilize to provide for your family?
Okay, that's a nice point you made. At first, I went through some problems wanting to become an artist. You know, I was, many times I was thrown out from home, thrown out from wherever I'm staying, thrown out because the persons believe that art, you know, it is, it wouldn't really make it, you know, I should focus somewhere else where the money could come in and so on. And but I persevered. I didn't give up, right? I continued persevering. I went through my frustration, my disappointments, and whatever. And over the years, I succeeded in it. So my advice, according to what you asked me there, the point you made, concerning men not seeing this as viable to provide for their family and so on. Art, long ago, there could have been problems, because whenever you want to be an artist long ago, you might tell, you know, the first thing you would hear is that artists die poor, right? And but now it's different, right? Because technology, you know, have developed and so on. There are many more privileges and opportunities that artists have that may not be there before, right? So I will encourage anybody who have the talent. I'm not telling you to leave maybe your profession where you know, to maintain your family and so. I'm not telling you to do that, right? But if you see you have the talent, have it as a nice little sideline, you know, because art is the president of the United States, one of the presidents, John F. Kennedy, right? He was not an artist, a full-time artist, really, but in his pastime or spare time, he would take up a paintbrush and a canvas and do some painting for relaxation. It relaxes you. It gives you that peace, you know. Yeah. So I will encourage anybody who see the talent in you, right? Whether even if you have another career, right? Don't leave your career, but you know, do it as maybe as a sideline, a pastime, you know. Yeah, because it's important, something important to pursue.
Okay, so you're stating that it's important, and you know, you can do it as a hobby. But from the time people hear hobby, they don't want to engage in it, or they won't take it seriously. What are some of the benefits? Because I think that you would like men to take art seriously.
Yeah.
What are some of the benefits apart from relaxation and financially that men can derive from engaging in art?
Okay, there are many areas of art that you can fall into, right? You can, for example, you as an artist, you can get employment in places like advertising companies and so on. You know, sign painting and so on. You can work as a graphic designer. You can. There are many areas, right? You can start your own business, you know, as an artist, and it's making an art is in demand, especially portrait. I'm specialized in portrait.
Yes.
And that is in demand. You know, people go a lot for portraits because people, you know, see this as something, as a good memory, you know, a memory of your family. Maybe some relative might have passed. Your dad, your mom, your sister, brother, whosoever might have passed. And people see this as a good thing to have as a memory. And then your children and your grands coming up, you might have your portrait. They can see how my grandmother looked, how my grandfather, how my you know, looked, you know, and so on. So it has lots of benefits. And as I said again, you can have your own business. You can open your own business. Right now I have a booth. Well, since I've been an artist over the years, 50 years, I had, you know, business and so on. I had my own. I had people working for me as a sign painter, doing billboards and so on in Trinidad and Tobago. And I have my own booth right now, you know, and people are coming to me, people are calling me, not only from Trinidad and Tobago, even from foreign people are calling and so on. So it has lots of benefits now. Art can make right now. If you decide to go into it as a full-time artist, as I said, there are many areas. You can be a sign painter, you can be a graphic designer, you can be a portrait artist. There are many areas that you can make in.
And in your experience, your career as a doing portraits for persons, how does that open up your opportunities to meet all different types of people from different walks of life?
Well, over the years, this had been happening. Yeah, I've been meeting people from all over, tourists, because I deal with tourists and so also, not only locals. And there are times I had the opportunity of, you know, having them, tourists that visit. I came in contact with people like authors of books and so on, who deal with videos and whatever, and they were writing a book, and they decided to include me into their book. People like from Germany and these places, you know. And so it has, I meet a lot of people, a lot of different people, and so on. I was able to interact. In fact, some foreigners even decided to take me away, to carry me away to the States, wheresoever, you know. But at that time, as a young person, I wasn't always thinking positive. I just wanted to live, you know, just to live. I wasn't even thinking much about the future. I just wanted to live for today. And so the opportunities came for me as an artist, as a young artist, but I threw away most of the opportunities, you know. But I decided to pick up the pieces as I caught myself and become more constructive, you know, thinking more constructive. I decided to pick up the pieces and move on. And I'm meeting a lot of people day by day in my booth, coming to me in my booth, foreigners, tourists, and so on. And people are admiring my work. And so, you know, I'm getting a lot of good comments on the work, and it's attracting a lot of people. The booth at Pigeon Point is attracting a lot of people, including tourists, not only locals, but tourists, and so on. Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, in terms of, you said you have been in this arena for a long time now.
Over 50 years. Yeah.
And you said you missed some opportunities. being at this stage, what advice will you give to a young person, aspiring artist, aspiring musician, in terms of opportunities? What advice will you give them now?
Okay. I will advise a young person today, if you see, you realize your gift, try to discover your gift while you are young, right? And when you discover it, go for it. Let nothing stop you. You know, in spite of obstacles, surmount obstacles, and go for it. The regrets I have is that I didn't, as I said, I didn't take hold of the opportunities, take advantage of the opportunities, right? Over the years as a young person. So if I had been serious as a young person, more serious, I would have been further advanced right now in my field of art. I would have been further advanced. You know, so I'm giving young persons the advice to take hold of it, run with it. Let nothing stop you as a young person. So that when you become older, maybe like me, my age, you look back, you will have no regrets, like I have, you know. So I wish I had been serious at a younger age, you know. But God is good still, you know. As I said, I picked up the pieces. I'm moving on, and with God's help, you know, I am having success, good success here. So that's my encouragement to the young people. You see your gift, you see your talent, run with it. Run with it. And opportunities will open up for you, you know, and, you know, you will have good success there.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Francis John, for coming in and speaking to us about men in art and your experience over the years in art. It's been a wealth of knowledge and a lot of perspectives for us to think about.
Yeah.
Viewers, unfortunately, we have come to the end of our programming for the morning show, but we have up next Beneath the Surface with Ria, and we're going to have a little chat with Ria right now. Good morning and welcome, Ria.
Hey, good morning to you, Akinlabi. How are you doing today?
Doing quite fine today. I'm doing very, very well. Who can we expect on the Beneath the Surface this morning?
Well, guesting with us this morning is Assemblyman Wayne Wasp Clark, and he stresses on the WASP here, all right? So he's going to be on the program chatting with us, and he is the Assemblyman for the Lambo Lowlands community, and he's also the Secretary for Community Development, Youth Development, and Sport. So we have a little bit of, you know, have an idea of what's been happening within ComDev and sport, and, you know, chat with him on some of the youth programs or youth initiatives that have been implemented throughout his term in office.
All right, so that's proving to be quite an interesting conversation coming up. So viewers, even though we are at the end of our morning show programming, stay tuned with us. We have Beneath the Surface up next with Ria Richardson George. So do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. Beneath the Surface is up next.
Because oncology is an illness that most people think is the end of life, and oh gosh, my family member is dying, there are a lot of support for patients. Therefore, a lot of patients, relatives, friends, and well-wishers follow them to clinic. The building that we now exist in is really small. We have 6 chairs in the waiting area, and then we cannot accommodate patients and relatives. If it rains, relatives have to find their cars. The sun is too hot, relatives have to find under trees. This situation was untenable. Therefore, the proposed move is welcome. I've been to the place, I've visited. The ambience is good. I know there is some construction to be done to make it fit for purpose at this time. And I do believe and I do feel that move, we will be able to enhance the care we give in various ways, because then we have space relatives would be able to come and sit with patients. That kind of intimate support will be there. For me, if I have to say yes or no to the move, I would have said yes in 2012, 2013, thereabout, when the population was growing. That is after we had started in 2010, and patients knew that we had services available in Tobago, and they start migrating from Trinidad. Definitely, patients, relatives would be happy. Patients would be happy. Staff would welcome, because the unit is definitely tight. You can't move a wheelchair around the unit. There's one patient toilet. The situation is not good as it is.
About 40 years ago, I got into an accident, and I was a blue, sterile stuff, and I had a scar. And I was always conscious of feeling the scar. So one day I felt it a little uncomfortable, and I started to check it, until I decided to have a checkup. The doctors and the nurses and again, they were really nice. You could see they were operating under duress. The place was uncomfortable, inadequate, not comfortable to sit for privacy, and but because it's cancer, because you're doing it, and you want the service, you go. If it was for any other reason, you would have looked for somewhere else to go. For they needed, and they need to be approved.
This is where, for instance, if I have to speak to a family about what's going on with a patient, I have to have the patient and all the relatives in this space. It's not really conducive to that sort of conversation, especially if the news is not good. Normally after chemotherapy, we want to see you a week later to see how you're going and check your blood count. And then a lot of times that's a second journey to St. James. A lot of people would just disappear for 3 weeks, and we hope we see them when the next treatment session comes around. They would allow for patients to have a bit more privacy, and even have a relative come and spend some time with them while they're doing their treatment, if the treatment is going on for hours. Having greater privacy would make people at least more at peace to know that, just because I show up at that building, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is what I have. Treatment in a more beautiful environment, a more calming environment, could only make things easier for patients. They go through enough as it is, just with the illness and diagnosis, and coming to grips with that.
I'm so happy to know that you are doing something about it, because it's about time.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Our guest this morning, Assemblyman Wayne Wasp Clark, for the area of Lambu Lowlands. He's also the secretary for the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport. Good morning and welcome to you, Assemblyman Clark.
Good morning and good morning Tobago, good morning Trinidad, and we are seen and heard from far and wide, so good morning to the worldwide audience.
All right. Now, we're really happy to have you on the program with us this morning, and we want to jump right into things. Now, I mean, you go by the family name, the community name WASP, and I'm sure there are persons who've always been interested in why WASP. Where did the WASP come from? Wayne WASP Plaque, and you stress on your WASP. You don't let go of it at all. So give us some background information here. Where did the WASP come from?
I stress on it because it's sort of my comfort zone.
It's your comfort zone. It's dear to your heart.
Yeah.
So tell us the background behind WASP.
From way back in primary school in the 70s, I should say that we was in standard 2. Miss Brown was the teacher, and we was doing spelling. And was doing like WASP, Marabontas, Jack Spaniel.
Right.
But the other 2 words didn't appeal to me. So I keep sticking on the WASP. You hear some people might say, WASP. It's just broken English. But it's WASP.
Yes.
And it just comes from just being humorous with spelling with Miss Brown.
And that name stuck with you?
It stayed right there. I mean, in Tobago, it's very possible that you know somebody all your life, and unless you had a formal meeting with them, you never know their real name.
That's right. That's the Tobago culture.
Yes. If you was in school with them, you would know their real name. But outside of that, you would know their name. It's just something it's a custom.
Okay. All right. Now we know that you were very actively involved in your community, sports and otherwise. This is Wayne Clark before Assemblyman Wayne Clark. All right. So let's talk a little bit about life before politics. You were involved in community work, involved in sport. Just give us some other things that you would have been involved in before politics.
Well, politics sort of is like the more official side of life, but basically there ain't no change.
Nothing changed.
It's just been the same, it's a life of service, and I saw politics as a opportunity to extend that service. So I've been involved in, with the schools in the area. At one time, I might have been one of the only people that go to a preschool to coach. I had about 7 of them. And by the primary school and secondary school. So there were days that my life was just pre-primary and secondary.
In terms of sports?
Yes. So, yeah, sometimes you say sport, but sometimes you need to understand when we're dealing with children, what we're doing is shaping their life. So, it's bigger than sports, because even I coach at Mason Hall 1 year, Light and Life 6 years. And I remember that when I went to Light and Life, there wasn't much coaches in Tobago where I take a look at that side of the island in terms of the school. Because people allow stigmas to scare them away at times.
Was there stigma attached at the time?
Always. And I always say that I believe that the system has to take some of the blame for the stigma that was on Light and Life. Because having a system where you take all the supposedly underperforming children and put them in one place, then you are the ones that looking for trouble.
Guaranteed.
So that's what I mean when I say the stigma. And in some places it was able to sort of Speyside work their way out of it. At one time Mason Hall was coming out of it. I mean, some
Goodwood worked their way out of it.
Worked their way out of it. So the secondary schools that came late, they were the ones that they would have take all the children from the post-primary centers and send them there.
Yeah.
It was something I think wasn't thought out properly. Nevertheless, we are here now, and we just have to take it and move with it.
Okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of your, because you made mention, excuse me, you made mention of, something is in the throat, excuse me, you made mention of your community life. And I'm really glad that you brought that, you were able to talk about that. You said the same person back then, still the same person now.
Yeah, no need to change.
No need to change. All right, let's talk a little bit about some of your accomplishments. You would have been involved in community work right through, excuse me, excuse me, not sure what's happening. Right, feel better now. Sorry about that, viewers. All right, so life, community life, and sporting before politics, and even after politics, when you started, you were still actively involved in community work and sports, yes?
I'm still actually, yes, pretty much my life remains the same, except that you're a little more in the spotlight. You know that yesterday you might have done something unnoticed. Today, people will take notice even
Because-
faster, especially if it's something they perceive negative.
Yeah.
So I grew up first, you know, I think what attracted me or what encouraged me to go into that aspect of the community life is coming out of a broken home. You know, and looking back, it took me a while to address or to actually accept what happened to me. As I say, to understand it. It took me a long while. And when I watch children now, the average child that comes to you or you interact with, single parent, most time 90% mothers and all that. And I was saying that, you know, from that early age, that I think I could relate to the children in that place because I was there. I ain't reading to them from a book. I could relate to them what I live.
Yeah.
And that was what attracted me to take that path.
All right. And that's very interesting that you're able to identify because you've walked the road.
Exactly.
You've walked the road. All right. So we want to jump right into things. Now, with regards to the division that you spearhead, community development, youth development, and sport, tell us what things fall under your purview.
Well, basically, the name says it all, you know, and sometimes you say, yes, you spearhead the division. I just see myself as another team member in the division. But the division existed before me and it will exist after me. I'm just passing through the division and they're trying to make a positive impact. There would have been systems set up. Some you might think require like a tweeting. Some you would just try to strengthen and some you would just try to accelerate on.
Okay.
But it's all, and I think it's the way how we actually live life and how we plan. If there's a system in place and the system is good, then you're just there to enhance and progress with that system. If it's not, then you have to make the decision if I'm going to address, you know, if I'm going to try to make a turnaround. And these things take time. These things take time. It's very interesting if you watch at some simple things, how much time it takes to even achieve that simple thing. You know, like, I come here and I heard you said this morning that we made our on-time start. But if it was in your DNA that you stroll in your 8:15 every morning, then it doesn't matter what time I get here, we're not going to start till 8:15.
That's right.
So simple things like that.
How important is time to you?
Time is
Being
everything.
on time.
You have to be big on time if you're big on progress.
What is the message you believe that you send to your constituents, your staff when you're late?
And I try not to be late. I try to lead by example because if I have an expectation that I want you to be on time, then I have to be there on time to welcome you on time.
Okay.
In the community development where I reside most days, I don't have a car to clock. I don't have a book to sign in, but I make an issue out of being there on time every day. Because somewhere along the line, you believe it or not, the reality of life is that somebody is always watching you.
That's right.
And if you are seen doing the right things, then it's easy to follow. It's a far cry from saying some things. Your voice is your loudest, you know,
Your life. Your life or your voice?
Your voice. No, I get that wrong. Your action is your loudest voice.
Your action is your loudest voice. I like that. Now, let's talk a bit of going back to the division here in terms of what falls under your purview. Now, Assemblyman, Assistant Secretary Megan Morrison was on the program with us about 2 weeks or so ago, and we did ask the question, in terms of what falls under her purview. And it seems as though there are not clear lines drawn in terms of what she's responsible for and what you are responsible for. So is it a sharing of the responsibilities? Is it that she's responsible for one arm of the division and you another? Who makes the decisions?
All right, so just to clear this up, because it's something I've been hearing in the public space for a while. We are there to take charge of that division,
Right.
both Assistant Secretary Morrison and myself.
Yes.
And I value her as much as I value myself with the work to get along with. I mean, coming from different little background people, I see things are little different, but the reality is that, number one, we had a short time to operate as Secretary and Assistant Secretary. It was just the ending of July. So it's basically we had 3 months plus. And we have to hold hands and do everything together.
Right.
And whatever the responsibilities are, communication is the key, right? We have to hold hands, do everything together. Time is not our friend. To sit and say, you take that too and I take that too. We just don't have time for it. And in my mind, it's not a healthy approach.
Right.
We work together, we hold each other hand all the way. And that's what I try to encourage, and that's what I try to, that's how I try to lead. I don't leave you anywhere and I'm somewhere else, and we go everywhere together. If I am not there tomorrow, you have to take charge. So you have to walk with me every day to ensure that you are where I am.
So do you believe that there is a clear line in terms of, now you said you'll do everything, you need to do everything together
Yes.
to get the job done. But do you believe that she is feeling, because from that interview
I
and
understand.
what was said, it appears as though she is underutilized. She wants to do more, give more.
And that's easy. If you think you're underutilized, just, sometimes we say things or we speak where it could not be, I say like, all right, not the right forum. When I say not the right forum, that's why rumors are so popular in our country. If you was to have a consultation here today about, let's say, the Tobago Carnival, one handful of people will show up. But tomorrow on the street, you have 1,000 different views.
Opinions.
Well, right.
Yes.
So the point I'm making is that sometimes, and nobody's perfect. You're entitled to your belief, I'm entitled to my own, but generally, sometimes we are here, sitting here together, and because we didn't have an open conversation about some things, we misunderstand each other. And being humans, that's possible. And it's also possible to say that, yes, I took a wrong path, and the quicker you understand it is the quicker you could turn around. So probably Secretary Morrison came from a background that she sort of believed in direct lines and clear lines and whatever. And then I could come from one that says that I believe in doing everything together.
Right.
So
it's finding the middle ground.
Exactly, and it just requires a conversation, and it's no problem with her feeling that way. I see it as a vitamin, as she wants to do more, and that is good.
Yes, always good.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
So that's the perfect partner. So, Secretary Morrison, you are the perfect partner for me.
All right. Let's talk about some of the accomplishments within the division before we get to, some stories about why you are tired. So let me let our viewers know that he is feeling tired this morning, but he'll tell us a little bit more about why he's tired a little bit later on. But let's talk about some of the accomplishments within the division, some of what you've been able to, some of the initiatives you've been able to implement, some of the existing initiatives, and some of those that you may have been able to do away with. But we're going to get into that when we come back from the break this morning. We're going to share some of the accomplishments just after the break.
I say, thanks a favor to wake up and hear me goals, we've got 'em. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash in transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today. Viewers, welcome back this morning to Beneath the Surface Street Talk. No chaser. Still chatting on set with us, Assemblyman Wayne Wasp Clark. And we're getting a little bit into the background of what initiatives were able to be kept, what initiatives were implemented, and what initiatives were able to be put on the shelf, so to speak. So, Assemblyman Clark.
Well, I just see it as making some minor adjustments in terms of, I'm going to draw to your attention, we have several youth programs like the Trade Check, the World of Work, and coming out of some of these programs, particularly like the Trade Check and the vocational skills classes that we do, it just strikes me that, okay, what what's the reason you're having these classes? Are you preparing somebody? You're preparing people to function home, or you're preparing people to function, outside of the home circle where they can make a living?
Right.
And it just strikes me that we have to make some adjustments here in terms of, okay, you spend millions of dollars when the year comes to do these classes, and yet the certificate you give them, not even you could employ them with it. And I think that needed immediate, to address that immediately. So we engage in a process with like the NTA and other certification people that we could certify these people and actually make them employable. Not have vocational classes, and it seems like the end result is vocational.
Just a certificate to say that you participated.
Yeah,
and that's it.
To me, that was pretty useless. So that's one of the things that I insist that we have to change, and we are well on the way to changing it.
Very
When people come through those classes, it must mean something. You should become, the purpose of preparing young people is to make them employable, to make them attractive in the employment market. And I didn't see the sense in continuing that. So that was one of the things that need to be tweaked.
Right.
We have a culture in Tobago, I said Trinidad and Tobago at times, that if you were from a different political party and I came to the fore today, that you started a building, you put up 4 rows of blocks, I break them down and find some reason to end my term by putting up 4 rows too. So we really didn't move. If I saw the need to just build on what you did, we must be able and we must be mature enough to say, Ria, you did something good, regardless of what political party you represent.
So what are you saying as it pertains to this particular, is it towards a particular initiative?
What I'm saying is that in general, we spend too much of time looking for the negative in what other people do. And the vocational classes, all the youth programs you run are very good. They are very good programs.
And these were programs implemented under the previous.
Yes, they always existed.
Right.
And there's no need
just to get it clear for our viewers.
Yes, there's no need to scrap them or to, you just tweak it so you could actually take it further.
Right.
It could be more meaningful. In other words, I think even in opposition, you have a purpose. And if you allow that purpose to get as low as just criticizing and opposing, then you would fail the people that you should be representing. We have to get to our politics have to mature. We have to be able to say, I must be able to walk across that floor and tap you on the back and say, Ria, well done. And not just find or look for something, because there's perfection in none of us. So I could always find some flaw with you, and you could find a flaw with me. But if we work together, even being on different sides of the fence, it means that both inside and outside of the house would be clean and better.
And at the end of the day, who benefits?
Tobago.
Tobago benefits. Tobago wins.
So if we just work together, we can make Tobago attractive. And we can, sometimes you hear people say that, now me and politics now. Politician, you just have to tell lie and you just have to this. And I didn't see it as that. I see it as you're in the seat. Other than trying to do your best, there's a level of honesty that has to go with what you do. And being upfront with people. People come to me every day with all different kind of requests. And it's just like saying your prayers. Your prayers don't get answered immediately every time.
That's right.
So we have to be able to learn to tell people, no, not now. I can't do it now. I could do it now, or I would not do that. When they leave by you, they must leave with a clear understanding that this is what I stand for, and not the hope of coming back tomorrow to be disappointed again because I didn't want to tell them no. I try to accept the fact, and we need to understand that even as Ria hosting this show, everybody would never like you.
True.
But everybody would never hate you.
True.
And then that is why it's more important for you to be Ria. Because if you stop being Ria, who are you?
That's right.
So that's how I live, and that's how I see things. So as a running back to the division, there are many things that needs to be done. There are many things that needs to be adjusted. And you being on top as the policy maker, you would not guarantee through your policies that what is to be done is done. There's somebody at the bottom of the ladder who has to execute that policy. And if they don't get it right, you can't get it right. So that's why I spend so much time out in the fields, because in many instances we are not getting the return that we should be getting from some of our workers. And let me just clear this up. Some of our workers are very dedicated. There are workers I could call in the middle of the night, and the only response you will get from them, give me 10 minutes. But it's not like that all through. It will never be like that all through. And you have to try to level the playing field as much as possible by holding people accountable to what they have been paid for. This is not a popular statement. It's not a popular stance to make, but it is needed if you have to go forward. Some of our workers really left a lot to be desired, because some people have another job, and nothing wrong in having another job, because you look at the Americans and what, and you hear people say to make it harder to do 3 jobs.
You need a side hustle for 2.
Right, but let's just dig into that. With that side hustle, you give those people what is theirs in terms of the time and what they need from you. Just give the government the same, and you will see how you will see how Tobago will climb that ladder.
So you don't feel you're getting money for value?
Not in every case. Right. And look at it this way.
So what is in place? Is there something in place? Is there a mechanism in place to ensure that you get value for money? People, okay, there's a culture in the Caribbean. I mean, I want to broaden the scope and not say just Trinidad and Tobago. There's a culture, and particularly when you work for the government or you work for the THA, that it's okay to your work day starts at 8 o'clock, but it's okay to get there at 9, and then you take a break. You take a break to go handle some business. So you leave for about another hour. So you get back at 11, but then lunch is at 12. So you take lunch at 12, and then you realize that there's some other things that you need to do. So you get back in at about 2. But then you've got to go pick up your children for 3.
Exactly.
And the workday ends at 4.
That's Tobago in a nutshell.
So what is being put in place? And if this is happening within your division, what can be put in place to ensure what? Is it to boost morale? Is it to ensure that you get value for money?
All right. So that is the reason I tell you that the chair in my office, that's probably the biggest stranger to me, because it's not the place to be. You cannot fix or run a division from in an office, especially when people are not 100% locked into what their roles and responsibilities are. They might know it, but they doesn't do it.
Okay.
So you have to be out there, not in a draconian way, but just in a way to say that I'm here. Sometimes when I go out, I ask the workers, tell me what is the problem? You having any problems? What is the issues? And in many cases, the problems stem from a supervisory level.
Okay.
Sometimes I remember the workers telling me, we're waiting a whole week for 2 bags of cement. You're talking about 8 men waiting for something that costs $160. Each of the 8 men pays more than $160.
What would you have done in that scenario?
Then you have to get to the person who's supposed to deliver the cement and find out why that is not being done. And then that person might tell you, well, I'm just using a word, well, I didn't get the PO from accounts or whoever. And then you have to go to accounts to see what is the problem. Because sometimes where the problem shows up is not where it originates.
Right.
So in our system, requires a lot more hands-on approach to have things working. It's okay to set policies and do everything, but if this system doesn't work, ultimately, as good as the policies are, they will fail. So we have to get up, go out, and ensure that what is to be done is done from the lowest level, because what we perceive to be the lowest level is who do the delivery, the end work. So each and every person is important. Sometimes you just need to get out there to reassure them that you are important as I am. I'm sitting on the chair. I'm not mixing the concrete. I'm not sitting on the chair that I make. You made it. So you are important too.
Is that why we don't see you in a shirt and tie?
That's exactly why, because a shirt and tie doesn't afford me to roll up my sleeve and get down in the drain with a worker if I see him there.
Have you done that before?
Over and over, that has been my life. If I'm passing here and I see you cutting the field there, and how you going? Say, let me take a drink, there, man. I'm like a thirsty. Let me get some water. I say, okay. Put the water over there, go and get the water, but the work ain't gonna stop. Sometimes you pass, you see men working in some remote places. You all need anything? What's going on? How things? And I turn around and go and get something for them. Because we have to understand that not because you were supposedly placed at a little treader above the worker on the ground that you're above them. He that is greatest among you shall be your servant. So being elected is not a promotion. It's an opportunity to sincerely serve and serve the people that you where you're elected to serve.
Okay. I want to come back to the initiatives. Now, we made mention of the couple of the programs that were there under the previous administration that you're just tweaking.
Yeah.
What are maybe one other initiative that you were able to implement under your tenure?
All right. In a system that's not perfect, we have to understand that sometimes your touch is important. Not that you have a magical touch, but I'm a sticker for seeing, organize things in the way that they should be. Because to ensure success in anything, you have to have the machinery working the right way.
Yes.
You could have the prettiest car, the best paint job, and the engine not in order, the car not going to move. So in many instances, I think it's just checking on all the little components that make up the end product to ensure that they are okay. Ensure that the worker on the ground has the necessary PPE. Ensure that one of the biggest problems we have, and it is not motivating to our workers, that you hear sometimes people come to me, tears in their eye, I retire 5 years now, nothing. You cannot motivate the person that's going to retire tomorrow when you see that happening to the person that went before him. So I made an issue out of having people have their going home monies on time. It's not perfect, but let's speed it up. Let's raise our game. Right now, the division is paying out gratuities and whatever to the tune of somewhere around $3 million. Because people, and that has been accumulated over a long period of time. And sometimes I think that when people are out of the limelight, out of active duty, we don't pay as much emphasis to them as we should. And that is
sort of out of sight, out of mind.
It's one of our failures, because you cannot motivate the person who's soon going to be outside when you see you treating people on the outside like that. So I try to ensure that these people are taken care of, that you get what you get. It's very disturbing at times that at my level, sometimes if you're not on the ground, if you're not in circulation, you will not know the problems until you hit social media. And that's when all fingers are pointing at you, when in truth and in fact, you thought that people were doing their jobs. You have to stop thinking that people are doing their jobs, and before you sit to relax, go out there and ensure that the jobs are being done. Right? I travel across Tobago weekly, go and check a facility, check a community center, check this, check that, because it is in your interest to check, because the blame falls squarely on you. And you have no excuse when something pops up like that, because you were not checking on your troops.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges and failures. I mean, you alluded to a couple of them before when you mentioned, men on the ground working, and there's a delay because of a bag of cement that costs $160. So let's talk about some of the challenges to the delivery of projects, the delivery of initiatives. What are some of the challenges that you would have faced within this 4-year term?
The challenges come in different direction and in different ways, right? But actually saying that the many challenges you have, in my mind, my way of dealing with things, I sit them down and start ticking from the smallest one and coming up. Try to do it as simple as possible because, you know, I consider myself a simple man because I try to have the simplest approach to everything, right? And the system, our overall system needs to be looked at, right? It cannot happen overnight. It's a process. Something that is all like in agriculture, the same day you sow the seed, it's not going to blossom the same
That's
day.
right.
So it's the same way when you develop a bad habit over time. It cannot be remedied one day. You have to take your time, understand what the problem is, and thereby you could plan your approach, how you're going to get around to it. I decided that a lot of the projects we have, small projects, don't have to be contracted out. We can do it in-house. But we need to ensure that the people that work in-house get what they want. So one of my approaches, and I'm going to draw some examples to you. Right now we are sort of 90% in completing the upgrade works on the Plymouth Pavilion, the Speyside Pavilion. We're actually doing a gym in Shaw Park, an extension of the original pavilion.
Yes.
We put in a gym to the back there because I think it was important that our athletes be exposed to that kind of training, because sometimes we see where we are lacking with certain things, and these things, the athletes have been crying out for that for a long time.
For a very long time.
So I'm just trying to meet the need. But all these projects that I just mentioned to you are being done in-house.
So there was the opportunity all along to have these projects done in-house.
The opportunity is always there. It's how you see it and what you want to undertake.
Okay.
I think that we have capable workmen who can deliver these projects. That gym in Shaw Park is 75% complete now, in-house. Plymouth Pavilion, 80 to 90% complete, in-house. Speyside Pavilion, 90% complete, in-house. Right? Some of the light maintenance we have, when I said the light maintenance at the play fields and we got into office with a lot of these things not working. Just recently we were able to reopen Mongrace. Mongrace has the best surface in Tobago now outside of the Dwight York Stadium. And that was done in-house.
And Goodwood is still waiting?
Goodwood is still waiting. With the Goodwood situation, we are about, right now as we speak, EID cut, and they are doing a visit to Goodwood to determine a startup date.
Okay.
All the paperwork is done, and they are well on the way to restarting. I am hopeful that by this month end, that project will restart.
Okay.
Charlottesville Pavilion and Community Center restarted and going at full speed ahead.
Okay.
So some of the projects, it is, and I'm not making any excuse, but it is sometimes angering to the communities that my project stopped. I'm seeing something going on over there and nothing ain't going on by me. And it's normal, it's human nature.
Yes.
But we also have to understand that sometimes that there are reasons why these things were so. And one of the things that probably we are guilty of as an administration is not letting the public know what you know, letting them know what affects you.
You try to save face sometimes. You try to save face.
Yes, but it ain't always good because he always blow back on you.
All right.
You know, for instance.
Just before we go on, let's just take a quick break here, Assemblyman. When we come back, we continue chatting, and you're going to share with us what you were just about to share.
Yeah.
And you'll let our viewers know why you're so tired this morning, some of what's been happening in the background that they're not aware of. All right? So stay tuned, viewers. It is Beneath the Surface, straight talk, no chaser.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech,
powering the nation into the next generation.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Viewers, welcome back to Beneath the Surface, Straight Talk, No Chaser. Now, when the interview started earlier this morning and Assemblyman Clark came on set, he did indicate to me just before we started, that he was tired, and we spoke a little bit about what could account for him being so tired today. So he's willing to share with us publicly what are some of the areas that have been really taking his energy and his concentration over the last few weeks. So over to you, Assemblyman Clark.
Okay, throughout my tenure, even on approaching office, when we got into office, one of the things that was dear to my heart was the cries of the people of Lowlands, actually, that saying they didn't have a place to recreate within their community. And I scarcely make promises, especially distant ones. But I was saying that I think it's possible if we work together.
Right.
Now, the government, as the government, would never be able to do everything and give everything that's needed on time. So I have embarked on that initiative. To the back of the Lowlands Multipurpose Center, there's a nice little piece of property there. It's what we have. And I embark on a project to do a play field. It wouldn't be the biggest size, but it is what can the space affords.
Right.
And I undertake this venture out of pocket.
Why out of pocket?
Number one, I promised it to the people. Number two, we as a government, we wouldn't be able to deliver it on time. So I think as a responsible representative, I made a commitment to the people. It might not be completed as what the government might have done,
Right.
but it could be started. I could signal my intention that I am sincere to you. I tell you that this was going to happen, so this is going to happen. And one of the good things that bring a satisfaction from within me and keep me going, as tired as I might be, is that when I turn up there yesterday evening, I received a call yesterday evening because I had an excavator working there whole week last week. And I received a call yesterday evening. You ain't a young lady. You ain't coming down here again. We down here, you know. As tired as I was, I had to just change my clothes and get down there. We were picking up the stones from the surface there, getting them off before we put on the topsoil. And it energizes you as a area rep to see people in the community buying into what you're doing. So putting the expense aside, because you could never measure, comfort to the people you represent by $1. So I think, yes, he have me tired, but he also has me energized. I gonna hopefully deliver that project by Christmas. Hopefully we could run around and play on it for Christmas. And in my mind, there will be no better Christmas gift to give the people at Lowlands because we did it together.
Now, you have also thrown your hat into the electoral ring for the TPP. You have gone up unopposed for the Lambo Lowlands community.
Indeed,
There's
yeah.
nobody else contesting that seat within the party. Nobody has thrown their hat into the ring for screening. What do you think can account for that?
Well, it's not that people couldn't throw their hat into the ring. In my mind, it just simply says that the people are saying we are satisfied with you and we want to persevere with you.
Okay.
Right? So, and it's not reason for me to sit back and say yes. It's reason to push on. The reward for good work is more work. And that's how I see it, and that's how I, just to mention, for my whole tenure in office, one of the first things I did was I had a little volunteer group. And every Sunday morning, I'm somewhere in the community with these people, cleaning a drain, cutting a road, doing whatever is required to sort of taking up the slack that the sitting government, which I'm a part of, so actually it's still the government working through me, but just doing the odd things that could make a big difference to people's life. And one of the most rewarding things is when I go out there, that the residents, in many instances, come and join me. One morning, we was trying to do some work on a road in Lowlands in Birchwood Triangle. And I walked with 6 shovels, and I couldn't get one to use. And I was saying, like, where's my shovel? Give me a... but the people came out. And what I'm saying, it's always satisfying when you have buy-in from the people who you are serving. And they coming out and working along with me indicates to me that, okay, that we are all at a place where there's a level of comfort and trust and we want to go on. So basically, I think that's the reason for the being unopposed. As I say, it's not something to be comfortable with, it's to push on. And successful or not, this definitely may be my last run at politics, because I think in this country, we are not good at succession planning. That's why we always have to start over. Along with serving the people, if elected for a next term, is identifying with some people that could continue. Succession planning.
Yes.
Don't always wait to the end to start over. Have something in place that you could just continue. And that's how I see it.
What do you believe you could have done differently within the past 4 years? I mean, sometimes you sit and you think about your day, your week, your month. Maybe if I had done, or maybe I could have. Looking back at your 4-year term, I mean, it's not over, but near completion. What do you think you could have done differently? What are maybe your regrets or failures? And some persons say, I have no failures, I learn from my mistakes. But, when you think back, what could you have done?
Okay. Now, looking back, you're always from a position of advantage because you see what was.
Right.
It's like, I like humor. And so I don't gamble, but I like to be by the play pace when the mark bus. And you always gonna hear somebody say, I stupid, I should have think that because look at the play yesterday and that. Everybody know what should be done after the fact. I regrets, no. I was on a learning path, yes. And certainly I would like to do more.
What more, if given an opportunity, you're successful, let's say in the upcoming elections, you are successful, what would you like to do?
I would like to assert myself more in terms of I understand what is required now from a better place. So it's easy to kick on. Our next term will be just kicking on, moving on, raising the bar. And the biggest success for me is working with the people you were elected to serve. Not leaving them behind and doing things. Strange enough, we are just preparing to restart the Goodwood project. And when you go to Goodwood now and the people come out and tell you that we were never consulted, we were never, that in itself is a turn off.
So I'm giving you something that I think is best for you, but you know what's best for you because
exactly.
This is
if you just communicate a little, sometimes you get a different perspective. Sometimes we go, when we have bad weather, people come with complaints and you didn't just send somebody out, I go out. And sometimes they will tell you that, when they was building this place, we live here and we telling them how the water does come down and they didn't listen. Look what's happening now. So sometimes not because you perceive to be at the top or the policy maker, you know it all. We all have to understand that we have to learn from each other. You ever hear the joke about this kind of displaced guy who was passing and see some men struggling with a car with a flat tire. The wheel nuts came off. And they were thinking now, how? There are no place we could go and buy some wheel nut now. But this man, who everybody considered so low, so meek, was able to tell them, take one off from the other tree and all go her tree and you go reach home. So sometimes the opinion of the man on the ground counts because he would not give you it from a book, he give you from practical living.
Yeah, experience.
And when you marry the two, you get a perfect combination. So I think that my tenure was one of growing, was one of learning, was a humbling one, understanding that you were elected to serve, and understanding that even if you aspire to greatness, he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. So everybody can be great because everybody can simply serve.
Now, when you took office, Assemblyman Clark, you were, some said, very quiet. in terms of politics, you came in very green, as did most of the other assemblymen. But what have you learned over the 4 years that has made you a better man?
Came in green, came in quiet, came in
inexperience.
Inexperience. That is a given. That's how we grow, right? We had our whole executive, a green people, right? And in judging us, some people forget that. I mean, really, it's not an excuse. But when you look at this term, there were a lot of firsts that Tobago can be proud of. Since I was small child, you're hearing people touting about Tobago and their own carnival. Sometimes everybody know what is to be done, but who has the will to do it? We had the will to do it, and in 4 short years, look at what this has grown into. There has never been a event on the island that is this big.
That can match it.
So, you know, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Fear only delay your arrival, and sometimes never let you arrive at all. You learn. If you fail, it's a lesson that I did this wrong and try to find out why I did this wrong so you could get it right. Because you shouldn't stop trying because of one failure. They didn't wake up today and just have aeroplanes. It started somewhere until it reached to that. So you look at I talk about the carnival. We have a beach sport facility in Colon, the only one in the country. I actually was privileged to see a clipping in a Barbados newspaper that they were going to build a similar one and was actually highlighting that they want it done just as Tobago. So
they're on the map again.
That is another first. You know, we have been trying. You could never reach all the requests that come to you, especially the financial ones. But sometimes I ask the organizations to be a little realistic. It cannot be that I want to go to Trinidad tomorrow and it costs $500 and I come to the THA for $500. I mean, even you as an individual, you are a businesswoman, somebody come to you for help, 2 people, and one tell you this thing costs $10 but I have 4. And the other one tell you it costs $10 but I want 11 because I want to save. Who would you reach out to? And this is where people don't understand, I think, at times that in sporting organization, I founded the Lambo Youth Foundation and ran it for 13 years with children and coaching football. But that's where we lose it a lot of time as coaches and as people who lead in, because we believe that we are serving in a particular discipline, which is not true. Anything you're doing with children, you're preparing them for life. You have 6 children here coaching them tennis. All 6 would never be professional players. But what are those who didn't make it? What do they have to take away? That's where you come in as the coach, as the mentor. So everybody will never succeed, but everybody could succeed in life. Because the things that they end up doing, sometimes you end up in a place that you never imagined. I never saw politics as an option for me, but I saw serving as an option. And if serving comes under the banner of politics, then so be it.
So be it. But what would you like to say to the constituents of your district? What would you like to say to them this morning? Now, you made mention of putting that play park in Lowlands because Lowlands did not have one. The other communities did. You mentioned Lambo, you mentioned Canaan had, but Lowlands suffered for that.
Yes.
For one of those that you said they've been crying out for. What else would you, in fact, what would you say to them this morning in terms of your representation? Why should they say, look, Clark, we're giving you another term in office?
Basically, I say to the people of Lambo, Lowlands, and before I give you that, let me just say that I'm doing upgrades on the William Mackenzie Park in Lambo too.
Okay.
Right, we are installing toilets there right now. Another job that we are doing, it's kind of comical.
Shouldn't there be bathroom facilities at all of the parks?
Well, you would want to think that, but the reality is that they were not.
Okay.
So if they were not, then you have to just put it in.
So if you want to, because it's in the area, is it that the thought pattern is, but because it's in the community, you already live in the community, just run home and use the bathroom. But what about those persons coming from outside?
Yeah, but it's difficult to tell people on one hand, we're striving to develop. And then you have facilities where the very people using on a daily basis. And we go tell them, go and pee in the bush.
Or run home.
It just can't be.
Run home. You live close by, run home.
The thing is that in order to make these facilities more attractive, that is a must. Yes. And from the toilet, you have the toilet facilities there now. We have to make a decision how we're going to manage it. The government is not that good in maintaining. So we have to look at getting the other groups in the community involved. So you might say, Lambo Sports Club, look this, charge at $3 or $5 to use it, keep it clean, maintain it. And everybody is happy because when people come, there's a clean toilet there.
That's right.
Right? We're going to reinstall swing and slide and so forth there to make it attractive because it's a beautiful place, but people don't go there as much because there isn't things to attract them and keep them there. So that's one of the things that we doing, and I am doing that in partnership with the community. I have URP doing some work there, the actual labor, but the materials were donated by people in the community.
Okay.
So when I move, I have buy-in with the community, and I will have it no other way because they have a part to play in
They're
this.
invested, yes.
They are part owners. They might take care of it better. So to the people of Lambo Lowlands, this 4 years, this journey was an eye-opener to me, was a part of, me developing myself and want to hold the community hands and let's do it together. I never see myself as separate and apart from you. I see myself as having a mandate to serve you.
You can tell them directly.
Yes, I see myself as having a mandate to serve you. And I want to continue serving you if it pleases you. So I look forward to many more years, even being out of the politics at some time. Once there is the life and the strength in me, there will always be the willingness to serve. There was that willingness before politics, and it will be there after politics because it's just who I am.
All right. Thank you so much for chatting with us. And before we go, if you were to grade yourself, because all the other assemblymen had to grade, if you were to grade yourself A to F, what grade would you give in terms of your performance?
I prefer numbers.
Okay, 1 to 10. What number would you give yourself?
Well, I wouldn't give myself anything. What I will do is reflect on the fact that I was unopposed with my nomination.
We still need a number. We still need a grade.
Well, if you have the grade, that's the ceiling there. So if you say 1 to 10, if you say 1 to 100, that's 99 3/4.
Okay. All right, we leave it there. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us this morning, Assemblyman Wayne Clark. Wayne WASP, you got to put in the WASP. Don't forget the WASP.
Indeed.
All right, a man of the people, throwing his hat into the ring again for service. Well, viewers, thank you so much for joining us for Beneath the Surface. Straight talk, no chaser. We will be on tomorrow, and we're going to be concluding on Friday with Chief Secretary Fali Augustine. So have a great day. Stay safe on the roads, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.